है, ज्ञानवर्धक भी है और हमें सुभाष चंद्र बोस से सीधे सीधे रूबरू करता है। और जिस तरह से विश्वास पाटिल जी ने इस उपन्यास में महानायक को हमारे सामने रखा है, ऐसा लगता है कि हम सुभाष चंद्र बोस को सीधे सीधे तौर पर देख रहे हैं। उन्होंने इस संदर्भ में बहुत शोध किए, कई देशों की यात्राएं की और इस शोध और व्यक्तिगत अनुभव के आधार पर और जितने भी ऐतिहासिक दस्तावेज है, उन दस्तावेजों को खंगालने के बाद यह महान उपन्यास सामने आया। तो हम सुनना चाहते हैं आदरणीय श्री विश्वास पाटिल जी को। सर, आप हमें संबोधित करें। आदरणीय श्री विश्वास पाटिल जी।
धन्यवाद। आई एम वेरी हैप्पी that you are showing such a great enthusiasm about the portrait of Netaji, the book which I penned down. मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि before I started the novel on Netaji Subhash, hardly some small things about his foreign life, his work in Burma, his work in Japan, Germany was known, and there were many fill in the blanks, and it was necessary to create the true picture of Netaji. For that, I traveled all over world wherever Netaji went during those days. मैं जापान गया, मैं जर्मनी गया, मैं पेरिस गया, लंदन, हर जगह, and my journey in particularly Japan was a very exciting and very fruitful also. In 1997, I was in Japan for 3 months, and during those days, around 25 to 30 some important military officers and co-associates of Netaji were alive. So I took interview, I discussed on many things about Netaji, and I got a true picture about his foreign life. And I'm happy that the family of Netaji has also appreciated my work. The book is available in English and other 14 languages. Anita Bose was the chief guest for the release of Gujarati edition. But I think Netaji's life was divided in three major parts. His early childhood, then his work under Congress flag, his association with Jawaharlal ji and with Mahatma Gandhi, then great split between Indian National Congress, then another part is the short time life in Germany, his marriage with Emily Senkel, and then his life in Japan, Burma, and Singapore. I found up a different picture. One accusation always is there that why Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, the Indian leader, the good leader like Netaji, should seek the help of Tana Shah like Hitler, Mussolini, and Tojo, and whether Netaji had made any compromise for taking the foreign help for his cause. तो इसके बारे में मैं आपको एक अच्छा एनेक्डोट बता दूंगा. When the Japanese army was traveling towards Impala and Kohima along with INA, when Mutaguchi, the Japanese commander, was also along with them, and there was a small clash between Japanese people and Indian army people, that who should salute to whom. And it was saying of Japanese people that we are supporting you, we are giving you all arms, ammunition, food, and everything for your cause. So you will have to salute us first. We will not salute. Then this small cause or this small clash come to Netaji. And Netaji passed verdict. He thanked his Japanese companions. He thanked them for their support and everything. And he told them that when India will be free, I will take the money and all resources. I will repay to you. If the government is not agreeing, I will beg to my people, but I will repay you everything, but I will not salute you. Then finally, this clash or this quarrel was solved on one point, that when a Japanese commander of the same level, an Indian commander of the same level, or a Japanese sepoy or Indian sepoy of same level will meet each another, they will salute simultaneously to each another. So this small incident shows that Netaji never made any compromise while forming INA and while working for the cause of India. If you have queries, you can ask me. But it was my quest to find out some blanks to give the picture of his family life, his love with Emily Schenkel, then his relations with Japanese commanders, and the final march towards Imparu. Japanese people were saying Imparu to Impal, and Impal battle is very famous. And I think that the support which was given by Japanese to Netaji, it was uneven, it was unparalleled, it was never told, or it was never happened. 3-division army was supported by the Japanese under the cause of tricolor. 3 divisions means around 60,000 people were marching, 60,000 fouts of Japanese was marching towards Impal and Kohima. And because of further reasons, early barish, early rains, and all other reasons, around 40,000 people, Japanese 40,000 sepoys were perished on the road of Impal. And therefore, whenever we go now also in Kohima and Impal also, on that route, you will find many tombs of Japanese people. Every year they come and they salute their forefathers. So my saying is that Netaji was supported very nicely and wholeheartedly by the Japanese people. That was a very exciting thing about Netaji's life.
Sir, you have written a vast novel on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. How you joined all the things, all the movements, all the events in the life of Netaji in one novel. And one thing I wish to ask, there are many saying about how Netaji gone there, how he went from one place to another place. There are many stories. So how you chose one story out of them, like his death, like his going to Hitler and Mussolini. So there are many stories. How you create that story, sir? What is the basis of creating that story?
The basis, you see, fortunately, there are many documents which are available in Germany also. I'll have to tell you people that the cause of Netaji or work or attempt of Netaji in Aero, it was a sort of a debacle. He was trying to meet Hitler for 12 months. And after 12 months, he got the meeting of Hitler. But some Japanese commander, as like Alexander Reith and others, they have written very good account of their meeting. And that first-hand record is there. But for a writer, I was depending upon the first-hand documents, and at the same time, circumstantial evidence also, and some biographies, some letters. There are love letters between Emily Senkel and Netaji. There is one volume published by Netaji Research Bureau, where you will find 10, 5 long pages later. And fortunately, I'll tell you, we people speak very, I think, दिल से या दिमाग से पूरा study करके, we are not going through it. Even about the clash between Nehru and Gandhi and Subhash, there are lots of letters. Nehru's one anthology, letters, a bunch of old letters. There also you will find 20 paged letters written by Nehru, written by Subhash, then some letters of Motilal Nehru. So I searched all those available documents, all those letters, diaries, war diaries, and then I started writing story. Even you can say about his journey of 90 days journey from Germany to Japan by submarine. Fortunately, when Abid Hassan, his companion was with him. He has written that story, how he, the submarine was facing rough sea and how it was attacked in journey and all that. And later on, this Abid Hassan become ambassador of India in one country. So there are many very powerful people. They have recorded history. Then I collected circumstantial evidence. I went through the jungles of Japan and especially from Burma, from Rangoon to Mandalay. I traveled everywhere and I conceived how must be that journey, what must be the difficulties in the route. I took interview of Captain Lakshmi for 6 times. I met Dhillon, his companion or hero of Lal Killa. He was staying in Madhya Pradesh, Shivpuri. I stayed in his farmhouse for 2 weeks. So I gathered first-hand material, account, stories, and then I wrote this novel.
You started your novel with the Lal Killa event, Red Fort event, and there was a very sentimental thing that Shahnawaz is meeting his brigadier, and he was saying that why you have done this thing, and you become Sarkari Gawah, and then he said, no, I can't. So how you created that story? How much it is real and how much it is fiction?
No, it was based on facts. It was based on facts. But you see, as a novelist, no doubt I portrayed the characters. But for this Lal Killa incident, there is an account available through Britishers, how the work was going on, what was happening every day in Lal Killa court. Then I went through the book written by Shahnawaz Khan. I went through the book written by G.S. Dhillon. Then I perused all newspapers of those days. So I go through everyday account, and then even there is a biography of that great advocate. So I tackled all sources, And I kept as a novelist one notebook, who's who. I jot down every character. What was his age when he met Netaji on that particular incident? What was his family background? Who was he afterwards? So I studied every character. I studied every incident, and I was thinking, rethinking, writing and rewriting for 6 long years. And this is the outcome of this my work, and it was appreciated very nicely. Narasimha Rao, our ex-prime minister, who was president of Bharatiya Gyanpith also, and he was knowing very fine Marathi. He was a scholar of Marathi also, and he went through my book review of my book in Maharashtra Times, and immediately he bought book. He went through it, and he asked Bharatiya Gyanpith to publish it in Hindi, and immediately in 1994 only, in 2002 only, it was available. So I think I'm delighted with the appreciation. When I met Narasimha Rao before my book, Narasimha Rao ji was telling me, you will not believe, when Netaji was staying in a tent in Tripuri, there were 11 guards, Congress guards, around his camp, around his tent, 11 guards, and I was one of them. He was proudly telling me. So, Srila Bhadrayaji, I met many his companions in India also, which was very helpful for my novel writing.
Sir, today's topic you have given is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose then and now. So, as per this topic, I wish to say that what is the vision of Mahanayak Subhash Chandra Bose that we are remembering him today, and what is the relevance of Subhash Chandra Bose, because our students are also listening to you. So for today's youth and for our students or for our teachers and for our learners, what is your saying about the vision of Mahanayak Subhash Chandra Bose, which is useful for us today?
We should consider that Netaji was a very pragmatic leader. Many people, after his death and for many years also, they are thinking and rethinking about his mystery, Gumnami Baba, this Baba and that Baba. I'll tell you, I have jot down the list of 52 Babas and Sannyasi in India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. They were claiming that they were Netaji Bose, or they were projecting, or they were asking to project themselves as a Netaji after his demise. 52 Babas. 2 days back, I found one Baba and his material near Nashik also. On this point, I want to tell you that Netaji was a fiery leader. Had he come here in India, what I have studied about the nature of Netaji, I'll tell on oath before you that Netaji couldn't have remained 2 minutes in the robe of sannyasi. He was a street fighter. He was a great fighter. He would have fight for the emancipation against poverty and many problems of India. Now, about this then and now, I should tell you, really, he was a great pragmatic leader. Students should go through his speech of Haripura Congress. He spoke more than 3 hours. And he told about his vision about future India. He was not believing in caste and creed. He was the first Indian Congress leader or Indian president of Congress who spoke about family planning. We should not forget that at the second time, when Subhash fought election of Tripuri Congress against the wish of Mahatma Gandhi, why Visvesvaraya supported him? Why many scientists supported him? Because Netaji was a pragmatic. 5-year plan, no doubt it was implemented by Nehru after independence. But 5-year plan's first concept was come out through the mouth of Netaji. It was his idea of 5-year plan. And when he was president of Indian National Congress, he appointed this planning committee and he appointed Nehruji as a chairman of planning committee. We should not forget that. He was fighting for heavy industry, India's development. In front of Mahatma Gandhi, he told in 1929 only at his age, Bapu, we can't go on this bullock cart now. We will have to accept heavy industry and we should go for progress. And when he was a president of Indian National Congress, there were some in some states, Congress Raj was there. He called for the meeting of industrial ministers of all states. That meeting was also attended by Visvesvaraya. Visvesvaraya was such a man, he never spent his 1 minute without work. But he traveled from Bangalore to Delhi to attend the Subhash Bose's meeting. So I think he was a very pragmatic. He was of the opinion that we should go for one language. If not possible, at least we should go for one lipi. And he spoke for, he propagated Roman lipi also. So I think there are many causes and corners where we will find that he was a really pragmatic hero and he was in very much hurry for making this country very strong, secular and pragmatic.
Sir, when he went to England, Britain, he was not allowed to meet Turkey's Kemal Atatürk. Why he was not allowed to meet Kemal Atatürk? It was written that he was not allowed to meet Kemal Atatürk by the government, British government. What was the cause for that, sir?
No, he was always under the shadow, under the watch, and he will try and try to take help from other countries, and he will create some sort of association against England. That was the reason. That was the scare and fear for the British people.
Sir, Mahatma Gandhi is our role model. So when Subhash Chandra Bose was talking to him, what was the difference between the vision of India regarding Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose?
I think he was a man in a hurry. He was not waiting, but if we will go through the history, you will find why he went to foreign country. In 1939, he was saying to Mahatma Gandhiji to start the struggle, the final struggle. But Bapuji was not ready. Subhash went outside India, but later on in 1942, Gandhiji accepted the same path. And you see, his nature was a very fiery, and his nature was not at all compromising. Later on, Nehruji did what he wanted, but he was going slow, tactfully. It was a difference between nature.
Sir, your novel, how we should take it, as history, as biography, or as a fiction?
I say always this is as a biographical novel. Biographical novel. That is my tag.
If this is biographical novel, how much you have added your vision, your perception, and your imaginary in the real life of Subhash Chandra Bose?
Then what will be difference between literature and history book? You see, I was of the opinion to write a history or a true biography, but you know very well that my biographies are always kept in library. So with the help of my novel, this subject and thought and vision of Netaji will reach to more people in large way. That's why I found this form of literature as a biographical novel. And there are many good biographical novels also in India. So nothing wrong into it. And many even learners, scholars also, they generally go through my book and then again they turn towards their studies on facts and figures. But facts and figures is the food for libraries. It is not for the commoners. It is a sort of medicine, sugar-coated medicine, nothing else.
Any learner, student, or professor would like to interact with the novelist Vishwas Patil ji, they can ask question or observation, please. Professor Santosh Panda ji.
Sir, I'm Motiram from Regional Center Ranchi. मैं पाटिल साहब से पूछना चाहता हूं कि अभी जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं, they are interpreting सुभाष चंद्र बोस in a different way. तो इसमें जो अभी प्रेजेंट जनरेशन है, are they getting confused?
कौन से बात पे?
सर, different पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज जो हैं सुभाष चंद्र को अलग अलग तरीके से इंटरप्रेट कर रहे हैं.
It happened with every leader, every big tradition. It is their dharma as a politics, nothing else.
But don't you think, sir, that is confusing for present generation?
No. You see, I penned down my novel on the facts. But sorry.
Thank you, sir. Now I request my honorable Vice Chancellor.
No, 1 minute. I'll have to tell this on this question.
Sir,
it happened not with Netaji. It happens with Shivaji also. Every political party, every sect, and every Sangathan in Maharashtra, they worship Shivaji on their own way. But true learners, true patriots or students, they should go through facts and figures. Thank you.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I invite our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Nageshwar Rao ji, to deliver the presidential address. Adarniya Professor Nageshwar Rao ji.
Distinguished Chief Guest, Sri Vishwas Patil ji, my fellow colleagues, today is a day on which we are remembering Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, a day which we feel that it gives message to our countrymen that how to think about our future course of action. When Vishwasji was interacting with Professor Satyakamji, we have found that lots of insights he has revealed. He has done a comprehensive work in his novel. Of course, the novel was in Marathi, but the documents which he collected from different sources, they helped him to put the events in a proper shape. It was a very popular novel, and we are fortunate enough to have his presence over here today. When we are listening to that song, Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja, Khushi Ki Geet Gaye Ja, we do remember that during our childhood also, even in our schools also, we used to have those songs. And we all were enthused with the spirit of the national freedom. And that concern for nation, it has built our personality. Government of India has announced this particular day in a different perspective, because now the need of the hour is that look at the nation, look at the national interests, how we can protect the interests of the country. China, Pakistan, who were earlier not a threat to us, now they are continuously forcing us to show our bravery even at the front also, and for which our Jamans, they need our support also, at least the moral support. If you look at the biography of Netaji, he is also having the same object, to get the freedom. He wanted to get it fast, as was rightly pointed out by Vishwasji. And for that, the course of action which he has adopted, that has helped us to get our freedom fast also. Second World War, it is a way through which this Azad Hind Fauj has weakened the British Army. What Gandhiji has done is, he said that he will support the British Army. And British Army has agreed, Britishers, they have agreed that they will give the freedom once this war is over. But Subhashji, he thought that the Britishers, they may betray also. In the past also they have done it. So therefore, we have to take an aggressive posture. And therefore, he joined with those people who are against this British, Japan, Germany. And thereby, they weakened these forces. And once that war is over, of course, Japan and Germany, they were devastated. But the British, they also lost their might in this fight. And for weakening the British Army, Subhashji has played a greater role. Today we can see that going against the wind, taking a brave decision in the interest of the country, that teaches us from the actions of Netaji. Today, when we see lots of messages from so many people regarding Subhashji, what they say, actions. No need to speak much. Put your action. Your actions, they speak louder than words. And Netaji believed in actions. He was the Congress president, but once he thought that this process, it may not get the freedom, it may delay further the freedom. And the mindset of the Britishers, it was such that it may not be helpful to us. He chose a different path. And ultimately we got it, and got it faster also. But nation is supreme. Nationalism is more important. Think about the country. Interests of the country, they have to be protected. Even if your number is very small, your courage, your ability to face the mighty British Army, because of number of countries, they supported the British in the Second World War. They are many in number. While the Germany and Japan, they have got a very small army, but they have got that fighting spirit. So that fighting spirit, all the problems we can resolve if we are having that fighting spirit with us. And that is what the message Subhashji conveys to all of us. Even today also, we may confront with so many issues, confront with so many problems. How to cope up those issues, how to cope up those problems. We should have a brave face to counter those problems. We should not be afraid of those things. This will happen. Your inner strength, your inner confidence, your mental strength, that is going to count. That is what this great person is trying to convey today to all of us. And the need of the hour is that now we see that today the environment is such. The one side, we see that China and Pakistan. Secondly, we are affected with COVID. Thirdly, the economic slowdown is there. But we all have to face all those issues bravely. And that is the spirit which we get from Netaji. And this spirit we have to sustain. We should not leave the battlefield. Challenges, they will be immense. And every day, newer challenges they will come to you. And for all those challenges, you must be mentally strong. And that is what we see in the personality of Netaji. So this is a great day, great learning, great remembrance. And for the nation, we all have to be united to get the things which Netaji has cherished throughout his life. I pay my regards and respects to Netaji on this momentous day. I also thank Vishwasji, who has provided his valuable time for us, gave his insights, and made our day memorable to have the spirits of Netaji. And these spirits, they may also help us to look at our challenges, even at the university level also, even at the IGNOU level also, how we can cope up those challenges bravely. And ultimately, we will win. That spirit is the motivating spirit to all of us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
धन्यवाद सर। अब यह कार्यक्रम समाप्ति की ओर है। आज का दिन हमारे लिए बहुत ही स्मरणीय और बहुत ही एक तरह से पराक्रम दिवस का दिन है। आज हमारे बीच एक ऐसे विद्वान, ऐसे साहित्यकार, ऐसे उपन्यासकार जिन्होंने हमें अपने सृजन अनुभव से परिचित कराया, और उन्होंने एक बात कही कि उनकी जो यह कृति है, उनका जो यह उपन्यास है, वह तथ्यों पर आधारित है, किंवदंतियों पर आधारित नहीं है, सुनी सुनाई बातों पर आधारित नहीं है। उन्होंने यह भी कहा कि यह इतिहास का एक स्रोत भी है, तथ्यपरक जीवनी भी है, उपन्यास भी है, जिसे मराठी में कादंबरी कहते हैं। कादंबरी भारतीय कथा परंपरा की एक प्रमुख श्रृंखला है, और आदरणीय श्री विश्वास पाटिल जी उस भारतीय कथा परंपरा को न केवल जीवित रख रहे हैं, बल्कि उसे ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा रहे हैं। आप और सभी भाषाओं में यह उपन्यास उपलब्ध है। महानायक जरूर पढ़ना चाहिए। विशाल उपन्यास है, लगभग 1000 पृष्ठों का, और मैं इसे पढ़ भी चुका हूं, इस पर लिख भी चुका हूं। आज फिर एक बार मैंने इसको पढ़ा और फिर उसी तरह से अभिभूत हुआ जिस तरह से पहले हुआ था। मैं आदरणीय विश्वास पाटिल जी को धन्यवाद देता हूं।
धन्यवाद।
आप हमारे बीच आए। इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विश्वविद्यालय एक बहुत बड़ा विश्वविद्यालय है सर, और आपकी बात पूरे भारत में सुनी गई है। विश्व में भी हमारे विद्यार्थी बैठे हैं, वो भी आपकी बात सुन रहे हैं। और इस तरह एक बड़े भारतीय कथाकार को, जो इतिहासकार भी है, किंवदंती पर विश्वास नहीं रखता, तथ्यों पर विश्वास रखता है, एक ऐसे बड़े कथाकार को जिसने नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस पर उपन्यास लिखा। बहुत ही भ्रांतियां इस उपन्यास को पढ़ने पर बहुत सी भ्रांतियां दूर होती हैं और हम सुभाष चंद्र बोस के जीवन को उनके नजदीक जाकर समझते हैं। आप इस उपन्यास को जब पढ़ेंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि सुभाष चंद्र बोस आपके बीच चलते फिरते नजर आएंगे। उनका विजन, उनका दृष्टिकोण, उनकी जीवन शैली, उनका आंतरिक मन, उनका हृदय, सब कुछ इस उपन्यास में है। इतिहास में सुभाष चंद्र बोस के जीवनी से जुड़े तथ्य तो मिल जाएंगे, लेकिन सुभाष चंद्र बोस का आंतरिक मन कैसा था, अंदर से वो क्या सोचते थे, किस तरह उधड़बून होती थी एक व्यक्ति के रूप में, एक मनुष्य के रूप में, एक राष्ट्रभक्त के रूप में, एक राष्ट्रीय नेता के रूप में वे कैसे थे। और गांधी और नेहरू के बारे में जो किंवदंतियां फैली हैं उसका भी निराकरण किया है विश्वास पाटिल जी ने, और ये बताया है कि किस प्रकार उन्होंने अपनी फौज को गांधी और नेहरू ब्रिगेड बनाया था। उसमें तो गांधी और नेहरू के प्रति उनके मन में सम्मान था, एक भाव था, और ये उपन्यास सभी भ्रांतियों को दूर करता है, हमारा ज्ञान वर्धन करता है। आज भी बहुत सी भ्रांतियां हमारी दूर हुई और इसके लिए मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं। आप आए, हम शुक्रगुजार हैं इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से, अपने कुलपति की ओर से और अपने 35 लाख विद्यार्थियों, अध्यापकों और सभी कर्मचारियों की ओर से आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और शुक्रिया हमारे इस कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाने। मैंने आपसे कहा था बंधुओं कि हमारे कुलपति प्रोफेसर नागेश्वर राव बहुत ही संजीदा व्यक्ति हैं। वे एक प्रशासक ही नहीं बल्कि एक बहुत ही हृदय स्पर्शी व्यक्ति हैं। और आप देखिए कि उन्होंने अपना वक्तव्य की शुरुआत कहां से की। उन्होंने जो आजाद हिंद फौज के गीत है उसका स्मरण कराया, कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, खुशी के गीत गाए जा, ये जिंदगी है कौम की तो कौम पे लुटा। ये जो सुभाष चंद्र का विजन है, जिसमें हमारे कुलपति महोदय ने कहा कि वी शुड नॉट लीव द बैटलफील्ड, वी विल विन। और सुभाष चंद्र बोस की जो ये प्रेरणा है, उस प्रेरणा को लेकर सारा राष्ट्र ही नहीं बल्कि हमारा इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विश्वविद्यालय भी हमारे प्रोफेसर नागेश्वर राव जी कुलपति के नेतृत्व में आगे बढ़ रहा है। आंतरिक दृढ़ता, मानसिक सुदृढ़ता और जिस तरह से हम चहुओर घिरे हैं अपने आक्रांताओं से, यही गीत हमें आज प्रेरणा देगा, जिसकी ओर इशारा किया हमारे माननीय कुलपति। मैं सर आपको क्या धन्यवाद दूं। आप अग्रज हैं, आप हमारे नेतृत्व हैं, दिशा दिखाने वाले हैं। मैं आपको सादर प्रणाम करता हूं। मैं अपने सभी साथियों और सभी विद्यार्थियों, सभी निदेशकों को धन्यवाद देता हूं। आप हमारे साथी हैं, आप यहां आए, आपने श्री विश्वास पाटिल जी को सुना, हमारे कुलपति महोदय को सुना, और निश्चित रूप से आज हम श्रद्धांजलि देते हैं, हम सब की ओर से हम श्रद्धांजलि देते हैं अपने महानायक को। मैं प्रोफेसर उमा कांजीलाल का विशेष रूप से आभारी हूं, जिन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम के संचालन में सहयोग दिया, और उन सभी लोगों के प्रति आभार प्रकट करता हूं जिन लोगों ने इस कार्यक्रम को बनाने में, सुनियोजित करने में, इसका पोस्टर बनाने में, आमंत्रण पत्र भेजने में हमारा सहयोग दिया। यह कार्यक्रम इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विश्वविद्यालय के स्वाधीनता संग्राम और प्रवासी अध्ययन केंद्र द्वारा आयोजित किया गया। मैं स्वाधीनता संग्राम और प्रवासी अध्ययन केंद्र के सभी कर्मचारियों को और इससे जुड़े सभी लोगों को धन्यवाद देता हूं और मैं अब अनुमति चाहता हूं कुलपति महोदय से कि इस कार्यक्रम को समाप्त किया जाए। आदरणीय कुलपति महोदय
जी।
तो फिर हम विदा लेते हैं, फिर से मिलने के लिए और अपने देश से कदम मिला के चलने के लिए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया, वंदे मातरम, जय हिंद।
धन्यवाद।